Hey, what's going on? Welcome to VT Sports. I'm Danny Cannell alongside my guy Chris Mano. As always, fun show lined up for you. I think this is episode 25, right? We're already 25 shows in deep. We're getting through the little rhythm that we're flowing with. We got some card breaks we're going to do later. I can't wait. Went out and got some cards today. I am fully invested in the card game, and yet I haven't found any yet. Today is the day. I am so due. So we're going to do that a little bit later in the show. A little boxing talk. Ryan Garcia back in the ring against Barrios. We'll see how that one goes. Travis Hartman, friend of the show. He's done a phenomenal job helping us break down some of the boxing matches that have taken place. He's going to join us a little bit later on the show. We've got Olympics discussion. We've got NBA All-Star discussion. Mano's telling me we got a little golf discussion. So a little bit of everything here on VT Sports today. Check in with my guy Mano, see how we're doing. How's everything going?
Things are great, bro. Excited, man. Fun weekend. I'm excited to see these cards right here, man. I feel glad that we got you in, but I feel like pretty soon we may have an intervention with you.
Oh, yeah. I got a problem. I'm going to be broke before long.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing.
These 2 boxes right here that I picked up were not cheap.
Oh, no, bro.
I definitely am underwater. Like, I am not, I don't have enough value.
Right,
yeah, I don't have any value. I haven't pulled anything that's worth more than $15. And I have 3 boxes full of cards at home that are just dudes. So
I'm hoping that you're just like building up, and you're going to hit a monster because it's almost hard. You ripping them at a crazy pace right now. I mean, you're bound to hit something. Like, you've been saying that your luck's been real bad. The sucky part about like being able to do this for 5 minutes on here, it's inside that top box by itself. We know there's an auto in there.
Right.
Let's just hope it's one of the packs that you're going to open on screen because that could be a fun one. And guys, if we get that Mickey Mantle redemption, oh boy.
We're going to be a party tonight.
Yeah, you're not lying, man. That's going to be a fun one.
And I'm trying to use self-control because I will go broke if I keep buying these every time. So I think I might just leave them here. So I don't, because as soon as I get home, I open them all.
Yeah,
like a little kid.
Leave them away from Deli and myself.
Yes.
They should be good.
Yeah, right, because you guys won't be able to use any self-control either.
Zero.
Let's start it off with the NBA All-Star Weekend because it took place this weekend. I have heard, because I was actually at a volleyball tournament all weekend. Okay. And I've been pretty dialed into the Olympics. I wanted to talk to you about that later. And I know the NBA All-Star game was actually early and normal because it was on NBC. I heard the game was good. New format. We had the quarters that they played, the multiple games.
Yeah.
The dunk contest was a hot mess. I'll just leave it at like it was a hot mess. One of the worst dunk contests. And this is from somebody, I used to record it in a VCR. I would set up the recorder and I would record it and watch it over and over. And I used to try to do the dunks on a 9-foot rim. And I was trying to be like, wanted to be like those guys. Some of the worst dunks I've ever seen.
Do you know what's crazy too? You're saying you used to record it on like a DVD or something. I would DVR this thing like 5 years ago when Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine were doing it. And dude, it was a blast. I'm telling you, it's getting worse and it's getting bad quick. And the problem is, it all stems from the same thing we've always talked about. We got to get the stars involved. Like, nobody cares about the guys in the contest. There was a cool thing. You see the three-point thing? Dame Lillard won it again.
Is he playing?
I don't know.
I don't think he's even playing. That's the problem I had with the three-point contest.
But you know what he did afterwards, though? Like, it's going pretty viral. He sent a text to Steph, and he goes, next year, bro, we got to bring it back to life. Me, you, Clay, Alex, Book, and get a good 8 in there, man. Let's go. That kid Con Canepo from
Stud.
Charlotte, stud.
They need to do something to infuse some life in it. Definitely. All right, the game itself, the All-Star game itself. What'd you think of the new format? Did you like it? Were you a fan of it?
I thought the format was cool. I mean, look, at the end of the day, I'm a big believer in if they just try hard, people are going to like it. Like, that's all it is. I don't think they tried any harder because for 15 minutes they were against guys from the world that they play against all the time. Because, you know, most of the games, I mean, were USA anyway. I thought it was weird, though, that do you see the roster composition was kind of weird?
Yes.
Young pups versus, like, old heads. But it was actually, like, Devin Booker, who's been in the league since, like, 2015, was with the young USA guys. And Jalen Brunson, who's been there since, like, 2019, was on the old team. But ratings came back, and they're doing pretty awesome. 8.8 million, the most they've had in 15 years.
Yeah, and it was an earlier game. Like, normally prime time, you get more viewers. But maybe they got an Olympics lead-in because there was Olympics during the day, and then they re-air that later. Definitely. So that's a good thing. The best idea I've heard came from a friend of mine, Nick Wright, works with FS1.
Great idea.
He was on with Bill Simmons.
Yeah.
And he was on his podcast. Yeah. And he came up with an idea.
Great.
And I think it is a home run idea.
Phenomenal.
I don't know if we're politically incorrect, though, as a society where we'd actually get away with this. But he said, you know what? If we want to find out guys see them play hard, let's go white players versus black players.
100%.
Let's make it racial. Let's separate them, and let's have at it.
Yeah.
And I think he's 100% onto something. I don't think Adam Silver would touch this in a million years, but I think it would go viral. I think you would see the ratings off the charts.
Yeah.
And Nick Wright pointed out too, he said they would try hard.
Definitely.
I guarantee you both sides would be playing way harder.
Well, white dudes are playing for respect, right? They have to be there. And the brothers are playing for, like, we can't lose this.
Right.
Like, it's kind of a lose-lose for the brothers, if we're being honest.
Totally.
Because, A, they're supposed to win, so it's like not a big deal if they win. And if they lose, God help them. You know, it's going to be a tough one for them.
Think about how, I mean, and also, so you get a little bit of international flair involved too, because most of the white guys are the Euros, like Luka and Joker, and you'd have some of those guys playing, which would be insane.
Well, I think that's been part of the discussion, like, where do those guys fall? Because to me, obviously Luka and Jokic probably look more like us than they do the.
No, they're white guys.
All right, see, I thought
they're
so
100%
too.
white guys.
But they talk a lot of times about, like, are they white guys or not? And
I don't know. I think you go by the eye test.
Yeah,
and they look white to me,
hey,
so they're playing.
Hey, think about the foundation for those rosters. You're talking Luka, Jokic. Who else?
Cooper Flag.
We were talking
about Con Knipple. I don't know if he's an all-star, but
no, he's nasty. Pop him out there and let him shoot. Austin Reeves has had a great year.
Right. Depth would be an issue.
Be a problem.
You know, you'd have the starting five. You'd have to rely on them pretty heavily.
Be a real problem.
The black roster would be much deeper.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think it would be really interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if Adam Silver pays attention to Nick Wright and Bill Simmons' podcast, but if you want to infuse some life into it, I think it would be way better than trying to come up with new formats and having guys out there doing different things.
Absolute blast. Guys would be playing as hard as could possibly be, man. It would be a lot of fun. The only sucky part is, and you know this is going to be a byproduct of it, is like, I think the sane amongst us can look at it and keep it like on court and fun. You know there's going to be so much racism involved. Like,
would there?
You don't think on social media people are going to be down?
Who cares? Like, we got to get past that.
I get it. I wish it didn't have to be part of it, but
I guarantee you in the locker room there would be so much trash talk. That's why there would be so much more at stake.
Well, the hard part is it's horrible. Think that they'd be in opposing locker rooms. They'd like segregate the players into different locker rooms. It's just kind of worrisome.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, they're all buddies. At the end of the day, man, they're all cool with each other, I think. And it would, man, there's no way you. Because look, bro, I'm out there, I've dealt with it in a wide receiver room. I just got to prove to these guys that I belong in this room, and that's what Team Caucasian would be out there trying to prove, I suppose.
Right, exactly.
We belong here, guys.
Exactly. Let's go through some of the highlights from the games itself. Again, I didn't watch. You did. Your MVP, Ant-Man. So, young player, one of the young guys, up-and-coming stars of the league. I love the way he plays hard. I think he's more of a throwback, sort of a Kobe, MJ mentality.
Love him.
So, I do love that. Did I see Kawhi?
Kawhi had a monster game.
12 minutes.
Do you know what was cool? Like, and it happens a lot, and the players are like cognizant of this. They usually try to prop up the hometown guy.
Yeah.
And once Kawhi got that hot hand, man, they just kept feeding him and let him do his thing. And he looked like vintage Kawhi, man. He was burying him from everywhere.
Yep.
Yeah, he went off for a while, but Anthony, I think, was actually surprised. There's like a clip that went around, like he was just kind of walking, like, I don't know if Malik and them, you guys could find anything. I'm sure, like he was kind of walking around during the announcement, and as the announcement was made, he was like in the screen, and he was just like kind of like, whoa, like I almost didn't see that coming at all, which was kind of like endearing, you know, like usually these guys are so like, but yeah, Anthony Edwards is everything, man. He's a great like face of the league. He's like you said, man, he's a throwback to the old days. There's like that rumor around that like Michael Jordan is his long lost pop. You've heard that before?
Oh, really?
And they look like
I haven't heard that.
Kind of similar if you like.
You know where he was great in? Did you watch the Netflix movie with Adam Sandler?
He played Kermit something, right?
Yeah, and he was the bad guy. He was like talking all the trash. He was really
awesome.
good. He's got a future in acting if he
he
wants
was great for sure.
I thought maybe KD, that's what he was caught checking to see who the MVP was when he was busted on his phone on the court. Now, I hope, was this well before warm-ups or was this in between games? I mean, I see there's a layup line kind of going on behind him, but what's going on here?
Yeah, that I didn't see until we kind of were prepping for the show. I mean, like, guys look like they're kind of in shock. Like, they're all over the court and everything. I don't think they look like they're ready to play. So I didn't really care too much about this. But I think these guys go back in between quarters and probably check their phones.
That's what's insane to me, today's athlete. Like, I do think it's a problem. I think coaches probably have rules on game day. You know, in the NBA, it's hard to enforce those rules.
Sure.
Like you said, I guarantee they come back and check them out in, halftime sometimes. Can you imagine if you were a player and you had a rough first half and you came back and opened up I don't know what player in their right mind would want to see that, but I guarantee you if they do, there is absolutely nothing that would come from that.
But see, no, I actually disagree because there's psychopaths like Kobe Bryant or like Anthony Edwards who would go back to, you don't know the guy like a Steve Smith Sr. If he went back to his locker and saw a bunch of people saying, bro, you suck, you're soft. You don't think Steve Smith Sr. comes back in the second half and rips someone's heart from their chest? I think Kobe, Mike, guys like that, they go back to the locker room and they see guys just tearing them up on social media. I bet you those guys come out with a different level of focus. Like, I don't know. Maybe that's me.
So here's the theory is that KD got caught using a burner account.
Oh, yeah.
Talking about other players. But historically, he's done that a lot. So people were joking that he was super stressed out there. Maybe he was sending out some tweets from his burner.
This is the first one that I think actually got some legs. Like, I've seen a whole bunch of these tweets. They are foul. They are like real bad tweets, like things about teammates and stuff that you really don't want getting out there. And I don't know. Usually the way they see this is that the guy forgets to switch him over.
Yeah.
And like will accidentally tweet from his real account.
Right.
I don't know exactly how that happened, but yeah, like some of the ones that came out, they look pretty horrible, like damning to like some of his teammates. And I saw like rebuttals to them too from like players, and I don't know if they were like if they were real or not. That's the hard part about Twitter these days. But yeah, man, that's crazy. That's not a good look if you're KD. It's something. I mean, guys, the hardest part about social media is getting. I actually think he's really good on there when he like engages with the fans. Because he really is like a savant when it comes to hoop, and he loves he loves the game. Probably, and that's what I ask of my players these days, where you don't see it as much. You almost get a feel like the modern athlete doesn't love the game like the older athletes do.
Right.
You can't say that about KD, man. Like there was a clause in Mike's contract. Remember the love of the game clause?
Yeah.
Coolest clause ever, right? That and the love of the game clause to anybody who doesn't know is Michael Jordan had so much stroke when he used to play that if he passed the game on the street and decided, I think I want to get involved in that. It was part of his contract. He's cool. He's allowed to get in it.
Right.
I think Kevin Durant gives me the vibe like that. Like, I think he loves basketball that much. Like, I don't think I did in the beginning. I thought he kind of retreated to the Warriors to get his ring. And now as we get further away from it, I kind of think he really went there just to be part of the most beautiful basketball ever. And I don't know, maybe I'm by myself on that island, but I think he really loves hoops.
I changed my opinion on him when he played with the calf. Remember?
Yeah,
and he
definitely
played his way through it and then torn his Achilles.
Definitely.
I think a lot of players would have shut it down.
Definitely.
I think he realized the opportunity. So he gained a ton of credibility with me. As far as you would see so many players, I'm worried about the money. I'm worried about the contract.
Yeah.
He was worried about winning a championship.
Yeah, totally.
So much so that he put his body on the line and it cost him a season. Yeah. I had so much respect for him when he did that.
And what I've come to like about him is we can't complain about the athletes that give you the cookie cutter crap answers and then get mad at him when he answers like a real dude on Twitter. Like, I've come to like it. Like, I don't care. I've had him respond to a tweet of mine before, and you get fried for a day, even if you think you're being sane. All his minions come after you. It's a pain in the ass. Your mentions get messy, but I kind of like it at this point. Like, I loved Jeter when he was playing, but in hindsight, as a media, like someone doing media now, like, what a bore. Everything you feel like I don't know anything about him 20 years later. I can't get mad at a guy for, when he answers with vanilla answers, I'm like, come on, man, everybody knows that. Just say what you really think. And then when this guy says what he really thinks, we can't get mad at him. So I'm kind of cool with his Twitter. I like it. I just don't think dogging on your teammates is the move.
Right. That is definitely not the way to go. You mentioned MJ. MJ is a competitor. He had a love of the game. He wants to compete in cards. He wants to compete in golf. He wants to compete in baseball when he played minor league baseball. He wants to compete in sport fishing. He's got a huge sport fishing team.
Yeah.
And now he's got a title of the Daytona 500 as a NASCAR owner.
Crazy.
This is insane. So 23 Racing, his team wins. This, to me, might be one of the more impressive feats. What kind of caught me by surprise, I knew he was an investor. Like, I didn't realize it was his team. I didn't realize he was as involved as he was, like, going to races. Now, I get it. Daytona is like their Super Bowl. I don't know if he goes every single week, but you saw the engagement that he had with the driver and with the team.
Yeah.
He is the face of that team. And for him to do that was pretty phenomenal. It was insane.
Yeah, absolutely, man. There was like a kind of a controversial clip that went on about him afterwards. And I'm only going to the controversial clip because you were saying like how engaged he is every week.
Yeah.
It's like a controversial like clip of him like patting the driver's son on like the butt.
Yeah.
After the thing. And they're kind of killing him for it.
It was weird.
Right. It was a little weird.
Yeah.
But like afterwards, you heard people talking about it. I think Stephen A. Smith was talking about it too. And he's like, this kid knows, Michael Jordan sees this kid every week, which makes me think that he probably is more engaged and more hands-on than we really thought. You know what happened with the problem with his time in Charlotte was I think he was overly engaged. You almost think it's a good thing. Maybe he doesn't know as much about racing as he does hoops, so he's able to kind of back off just a little bit.
Right.
And you're able to see that success. But I mean, just having him to kind of bounce ideas off of, how do I get locked in for a big race like this? I'm sure that's who better in the world can you go up to and ask about like Mike, man, it's so much pressure. How do I get locked in, man? What did you do pre-game to get you sorted out? If I'm a driver, I think I'm using that.
Heck yeah. I'm pulling on them any way I can for mental. The controversial video.
Yeah.
People's mind go to the, and I get we have a ton of like pedophilia is like such a thing in our society now. We're finding out so much stuff in the Epstein files, and everybody wants to look for the worst in people, which is part of social media.
Right.
I thought the reaction was way overblown. Like I saw people, oh, this is going to ruin MJ's legacy.
Ridiculous.
And as somebody who loves MJ, I was like, oh no. Then you found out, if you see a little kid's shirt, it's soaking wet. Somebody had poured like ice down his, he had ice, and they were saying that MJ's just kind of playing with the ice, trying to get it out, like trying to help the kid out. I didn't think it was a big deal at all, but it's the society we live in today. Like people want to look for something like a gotcha moment, and what better person to get than the GOAT of all time, the most popular athlete in sports. And people just want to get you. Like that's what they're always looking for.
And they know you put the name Michael Jordan in a tweet, it's going to go viral. But can I tell you 30 seconds to tell you kind of a story about this? Now, it has nothing to do with this, but look, my dad, when my dad was around, my mom was my dad's second marriage, right? So he had me in his 50s, and he passed when he was in his 80s. But my dad was a security guard at my high school until the middle of his 70s, right? So he was working. One day he came home super upset, and I promise I'm going somewhere with this. When my dad was younger, it was like okay to ask somebody if they needed help to help them. So my dad, in the pouring rain, offered like a middle school or high school kid a ride home to the house because he saw him driving. My dad was 80 at the time or 79 at the time. So to him, it's like when I was a younger person, like this wasn't weird. My dad drove the kid home, dropped the kid home, and they fired my dad. And to me, when he came home...
There wasn't even a complaint from the kid. It was just policy?
No, they just fired him. No, the parents just said, like, what did the security guard... My dad was leaving the school, drove the kid home in the pouring rain, and, like, my father, who was older, he just couldn't grasp that, like, nowadays, something you did was wrong, Pop. And in my head, I'm like, this poor old man thinks he's doing something nice for somebody, ends up losing his job over it. And not to say that this is the same situation, but I think Mike's in, like, his 60s now. Like, right? Is Michael Jordan in his 60s, right?
Yeah.
He probably doesn't even realize, like this is weird. I don't know, man. It was a little weird as somebody now who's in this world where things are, but I'm telling you, man, my pop went through something a little bit similar, like not to that extent, but like drove a kid home, came home thinking he did something like, kind, and he wound up having to suffer because the weird world we live in nowadays, it's just a weird situation.
Yeah, I hate it. But that's kind of what our society is in right now. It's this really weird
63
place.
Years old.
And there are a lot of weird stuff going on. So immediately people think the worst. Because I'm with you. I don't think Jordan meant it nefarious. I don't think he's a pedophile. I think he was just out there goofing around with a little kid.
Yeah, of course.
Moral of the story, just keep your hands off any other kids.
100%. 100%. And did you see the last lap? Do we have Malik? I think we have the clip of the last lap. This is kind of weird in the sense it's almost like everybody in front of his I don't know if I'm seeing this right. It looked like
everyone wrecks.
Everybody wrecks. It's like almost like you're in a track race and 15 people fall in front of you and you just walk over the finish line.
Hey.
So I mean, I guess he won by default. I mean, he won, but like, look at this.
It's the last man standing.
I think like 4 or 5 wrecked already, and it's not even. I mean, there's more. It's almost like it parts at the very end.
Right. That is pretty insane. That wreck at the front. So have you ever been to Daytona? Have you ever been to a NASCAR race?
When I was playing in Charlotte, like they had it down there, but no, I never went down there. No, you know what? I cannot. I hate to say it. It's a bunch of dudes just turning left for 3 hours.
I hear you. I went one time to Daytona 500. This is probably 20 years ago.
Okay.
And I did kind of get into it. When you're there, it is another one. So there were 2.
That's
on
what
the
I'm
last
saying.
lap. Yeah, at the beginning and the end. When you realize how many times they almost wreck and how many times and how many red flags they have to stop and yellow flags.
Yeah.
It is like last man standing sometimes. So I don't think anybody's apologizing for that Daytona 500 trophy that MJ's holding up right now. But it is kind of sometimes it's luck. I'd rather be lucky than good.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you positioned yourself in the right spot. So congrats to MJ and Team 23. From one NASCAR owner to a former NBA owner who was in the news, Mark Cuban had an interesting flaw. Now, he comes out there and he makes some bold takes and he has some bold proclamations. He had the world buzzing, the NBA world especially, because he said the title of his tweet read, "Why the NBA Should Embrace Tanking." And now he explains it in a very long tweet, but the one thing that I took away from it, like if you had ChatGPT or somebody summarize this, like I get it. Like NBA teams do tank. We've heard about the process in Philly. We've heard, other players get, drafted high because the team tanks for it.
Sure.
He was saying the takeaway for me, and this one I was shocked by. I'm curious to get your take on this. He said fans don't care about the outcome. Fans want to be entertained. He said, when I got in the NBA, they thought they were in the basketball business. They aren't. They're in the business of creating experiences for fans. Few can remember the score from the last game they saw or went to. They can't remember the dunks or shots. What they remember is who they were with, their family, their friends, a date. That's what makes the experience special. So he's almost trying to say that the value comes with the experience, and they need to focus on lowering ticket prices and making sure fans have a great time at the game as opposed to who winning. So if that's the case, then winning doesn't matter. Why not tank, throw away a couple seasons, try to get your player that could be a franchise player? What did you think of Cuban's tanking take?
I think this is crap. I think this is absolute crap. And I think there's nobody who's let me down over the last 10 years that I used to think was like an everyman billionaire than Mark Cuban. Like, I used to love seeing Mark Cuban sit courtside in a T-shirt and back and forth with officials. Like, didn't care how much he got fined. He was speaking on behalf of the fans. I think this guy has completely lost touch with reality in the last 10 years. Do you know what entertains me as a fan? Winning. Right? I've been a Jets fan for my whole life. Do you know? And we just said it in the last clip when I said to you, what do you think about the way he won? You said, I don't care if it's ugly. It's a win.
Yeah.
Right? I don't care about that. It's the people who go there as a social event or a hobby that remember, oh, yeah, I was there with a chick once. Ask a true fan what they think when I care about the win. I don't care how they get there. I don't care if they win a defensive battle. I don't care if it's a pitcher's duel. It doesn't matter to me. I need my team to win. And I think this is crap. And I think if you're a fan, is the prices outrageous? But let me be real. If I wanted to go to a Washington Wizards game right now, you think I can afford a ticket?
Right.
Promise you I can afford a ticket, right?
Right.
So I hate it.
I don't know why you can't focus on both.
Right.
Why not try to compete and win and have a great fan experience?
Yeah.
Because I think about the games that stand out to me were, we talked about the greatest Super Bowls. I was in Tampa.
Yeah.
The Giants won. I wasn't even a Giants fan, but I remember them winning.
Right.
And I remember going with my dad and my brother-in-laws, and that was awesome. I remembered Whitney Houston singing the national anthem.
Sure.
But I also remember that game and the Scott Norwood wide right. I remember those moments. This year, I took my daughters to Florida State to watch the Alabama game. Mm-hmm. I remember being with them. I took them to two games. One was Miami and one was Alabama. Mm-hmm. Which one do you think I remember more? The one we won, not the one we lost.
Of course.
I remember storming the field, and what made it special was, as a Florida State fan and graduate and alum, I loved the fact that they won. That made it one of the more memorable experiences.
Sure.
I was racking my brain of the sports events that I took in as a fan. You know what one stuck out the most? The ones where my team won.
100%.
I think for him to diminish the actual fan value of wanting your team to win,
right,
I think he is so far off base on this. I think he's missing the point. I think fans want both. And by the way, he said fans want an experience. To your point about the Wizards, if the Mavericks are bad, people aren't coming. They don't want to go watch a team tank. So you better be ready to eat it, have an empty arena for the latter second half of the season if you're going to try to tank. The other thing about tanking, now I don't think this would ever happen in the NFL. Do you think he has a point, though? Because in the NBA, it's 5 guys on the court. If you can find a generational player, it could change the trajectory of your team.
Right.
But you better hit on that player.
Yeah.
And it's still not a guarantee. Now, sometimes people say, oh, Cooper Flagg's a generational player. Maybe you're right on that. Maybe he does become that. But there's also been bust after bust, just like there is in the NFL, where you might tank and say, oh, this is our chance. We're going to get the number 1 overall pick. And then you get somebody who's no good.
Absolutely. I mean, I think the success rate, and I think we've talked about it, between first-round picks in any sport, there's probably a great draft is maybe 5 all-stars in the first round.
Right.
Which means there's still 26 or 27 failures. You know what I mean? And I'm completely on board with that, man. I think the risk of tanking, I mean, how long did it take for the Sixers? And they've still never been there. They got a generational player in Joel Embiid, and it's still something happened along the way, right? His knees gave out or something bad happened. They drew bad luck in the playoffs, but somehow they didn't make it through. Yeah, I'm right there with you. Did you hear the crazy thing going on about eliminating the draft? Did you hear them talking about that?
I did.
What do you think about that?
I see it because we don't have a draft in college football.
Okay.
I think it's a mess.
You think?
I think eliminating the draft. So you're talking about free agency out of college.
That's basically what they're talking
about. You get to
choose
wherever you go.
Yeah.
I think if I was a player, I would absolutely love it. As a player coming out of college, get to choose where you go, get the highest bidder.
Yeah.
You would see those bids go off the charts. You'd have a ton of leverage.
Right.
But I don't think it works as a sport.
It doesn't, I don't think it works in any way. I thought immediately of like three horrible, like first of all, three markets are getting all the players, right?
Right.
If I'm the best player,
New York,
and I go
LA,
anywhere but
right.
Miami,
Right.
LA, and New York, right? Then they're going to say, yeah, but there's a salary cap. And you know what that means? That means they're cutting veterans, right? Somewhere they're going to cut veterans along the way. And if I'm a team who knows 2 years down the road that 7'5" kid from France is supposed to come out, I'm not signing players anyway. So I'm not tanking by losing games, but I'm tanking by default because I'm not trying for 2 years before Victor Wembanyama comes, so I can clear $50 million in space a year. So it's going to be one decent player and then a bunch of G leaguers anyway, because I know in 2 years I got a shot at the big French kid from France. You know,
Right.
So it's like there's going to find a way around it. You think any 19-year-old is picking? How do these teams do it?
Milwaukee,
No Portland,
chance. Right?
What is going on? Like, there's no feasible way, and I don't think that the Players Association, because who are the ones that make the money in this league? They're not going to let a 18-year-old kid come in and make $40 million. Didn't we see that in the NFL for a bunch of years?
And they had to nip
changed
in the bud. Yeah, they had to.
Right, and it's going to be at the expense of the established veterans who played 10 years and are now making that 15, 20 million. Those are going to be the first guys to get hacked. So
I think the NFL is the most popular sport in America because there's some sort of parity.
Yeah,
and because the draft does allow you to get better, because if you're the worst team, and I know the NBA has it too, I almost think they should go to a traditional draft where you don't have the lottery.
No lottery?
Yeah, just have the worst teams. Now that they can tank more, so you would see teams tank maybe more aggressively. I also thought the idea that was going around of having the lottery teams play at the end of the season for a tournament for the top pick is not an awful idea.
All right, now answer me this though. If I'm a 4, if I'm the 4 for a team that's going to go draft Cooper Flag,
right?
How hard am I playing
not
to
very
draft
hard
my
at all.
replacement?
Yeah, exactly. Not very hard at all.
Yeah.
I do think it would add some intrigue, but
Fun.
becomes a bunch of conflicts personally for some of those teams. So we'll see if any of that stuff comes. The NBA, to me, man, they lost me in the last 5 to 10 years. The load management, the rest, the players with the attitudes. Even, politics doesn't bother me too much, but them getting very vocal, politically, and granted, a lot of them disagree with my political views.
Yeah.
I don't love that. I can kind of separate that sometimes, but just the overall mindset where I don't think the NBA player cares about the fans.
Yeah,
and that bothers me.
Yeah, there's not too many things that can get me. Honestly, the boycott the league thing is something I've never been able to. I saw a guy who had a tweet, and it was a great tweet, and he goes, I don't care. Let's just say my name, hypothetically. I don't care if they put Chris Mano in the end zones. I'm still watching football every week. And it's because it's what I've come up in. I train kids. It's just a passion of mine and a love. I think the worst thing that happened is the best players in the league. I don't know, man. I don't know if they think that they're bigger than basketball, but I hate it, man. I think a lot of that comes from them. I think you find a couple of those stars who come up and they have that mindset like, I'm dressing every day. Like the mindset Mike had. You know what? The mindset that those old school players who said, I may get a parent to come out here and spend $400 one time a year. I'm going to show up to their town and sit it out. It's just that's the kind of mindset you need from your stars. And I think, like I said, in everything, man, it's if the cool kids do it, the rest of the kids are going to follow. If the young kids do, if the older guys do it, the young kids are going to follow. We see it with all we need is that one guy to come out here. And if Wemby and Giannis and Anthony Edwards decide in the next 10 All-Star games, they're going to make that everything, then the rest of the group will follow. I can't see a world where that doesn't happen.
Yeah, I don't either. Speaking of a sport where I think everybody gives their all, because it only happens once every 4 years.
Yes.
What's your level of interest in the Winter Olympics?
Winter Olympics compared to Summer Olympics, significantly lower.
Yes.
I care about hockey very much. I love hockey. I hear we're in a dogfight with Sweden right now, which is something I'm excited about. And I think that in-season tournament from last year sort of got me a little more juiced up on hockey.
Yep.
So that I'm pretty cool with.
My level of interest coming in was a 2 out of 10.
But you seem like you're pretty interested.
I kind of am, because I've been drawn in by some of these bizarre sports that I never watched. Like curling is one to me where I'm watching. It's kind of been fascinating everybody out there. And then this controversy that unfolded between Canada and Sweden.
Yeah.
This dude
double rock
got
touch?
caught. Yeah, double rock touch. I didn't even know that wasn't allowed, but it's very clear it's on video. But did you see his response?
Yeah,
Did
when
this
he was
man
accused
just
of
cheat
it.
at the Olympics?
Yeah.
In curling, a Canadian player was accused of breaking the rules because you're not allowed to touch the stone again after releasing it at the hog line. He surely didn't take the accusation well.
I haven't done it once. You can f*** off.
You haven't done it once?
I haven't done it once.
Okay.
I'll
show you a video after the game.
How about you walking around on my deal in the last day and dancing around the house here? How about that? Come on, officer. Just
You want me to show you a video?
I don't give a shit.
Wow. He accused. I didn't know that was a thing either. Like walking in your line, like in golf, when you can walk. He's like, where are you walking on my line?
Yeah.
But I think that dude's got to be embarrassed once he sees the video. The other thing that's kind of crazy, the women's team from Canada, the tosser, the curler, she did the same thing. Yeah, she did a little double touch as well. I like a little spark, a little spice added out there. Then some of the just athletic achievements that are out there. The dude that went uphill sub 6 miles on skis.
Yeah, this is bananas.
This dude is churning. I mean, literally looks like a locomotive going up the hill. That is insane.
What do you think that guy runs like a nice temperature, like on track mile at? I was trying to think about that. He's got to be in the 5s, right?
At least.
Holy cow, that is insane.
Do you think you could break? Have you ever been able to break a sub 6, like when you're healthy?
At
good,
my best,
peak?
I mean, maybe 5:45, 5:50,
but
which
is
like
insane.
a couple of seconds.
And he's right there on skis, uphill, in cold weather, at altitude when it's hard to breathe.
If I made it to the top of that hill right now, I'd be stunned. I don't care if it's in 6 minutes, 6 hours, nothing. This is insane endurance and stamina. My question for you is this, and you said it earlier.
Yeah.
What do we constitute a sport? Is curling a sport? Are we doing this? Are we going to give curling the benefit of the doubt? Is it a sport?
It's a bar sport.
It's a bar sport. It's
like a darts. Drinking man. Yeah, but it's darts a sport. No.
Darts? No.
I've been fascinated by the big air, like the snowboard big air.
Those are cool.
The one sport I have not been able to get into is the figure skating. Like my wife, even her, she's usually one who likes it. Speed skating's been awesome. We got the dude from Wisconsin has been absolutely killing it, the best speed skater in the world, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
They had some of the short track, which is fun.
Very cool.
The way they get down so low is just really cool to see that. Like I get into the spectacle of, I can't even name half the players, but to me, like coming home at night, I'll flip back and forth between college basketball and I'll throw on the Olympics. And I just like learning about some of the different personalities in different sports.
Yeah, I think the short track speed skating is exciting for the same reason people think NASCAR is exciting, right? You know they're just 1 second away from just catastrophe out there.
Yeah.
And if one guy goes sliding up the wall. But yeah, this is crazy.
Yeah.
I actually have a good time watching this too.
I think so too. This dude's quads. Did you see what he did? He does Saquon Barkley's quads because Saquon, has a pretty big, and they're like, they dwarf him.
That's crazy.
My man, Jonas Stoltz has been absolutely phenomenal. Or Jordan Stoltz has been absolutely insane. The other aspect, Jake Paul. Congrats to his fiance.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That was pretty cool to see him crying, tearing up when she won that.
Cool.
Yeah, that was pretty insane.
Yeah, where is she from again?
The Netherlands.
I know she was in Orange. Right?
Yeah. The one thing I wanted to point out, and I'm going to do a little short video on this after the show. But have you seen who's dominating? Norway.
Okay.
Norway is dominating the medal count. They're the most medals out of anybody out there. And it's not really even close.
Yeah.
With, I think, 33. And, it's not even a close second.
Okay.
The one thing that jumped out to me, and this is something that I'm passionate about, it's about, youth sports and what our country does as a, society and how much pressure we put on people to specialize, how much, we put on players to win and those types of things. In Sweden or in Norway, they don't keep score when they're young. And I always hated that because that was a trend that was taking place in the U.S. that I couldn't stand. Norway, they don't keep score. They don't allow you to specialize until you're 14. You play every sport while you're younger.
Yeah.
They don't hone in there. And their motto is the joy of sports. Like, embrace the joy of sports. Not the competition, not the hard cutthroat stuff. It is all about having fun while you play sports, which I think we could take a page out of Norway and say, you know what? Maybe we need to have a little bit more of that.
Yeah, that's so interesting, right? Because I'm all for that. I definitely think there's a massive benefit to playing multiple sports. I've done some work with FC Barcelona and their youth programs, which is pretty crazy. They think the exact opposite. So I would love to see a deep dive into that because their whole thing is basically at 4 years old, they're like, you're good. You're going to be in pool A. B, you could go, you can go in one of two ways. You'll be in pool B. And C, go do something else. So it's they are completely the opposite of that. So that's very interesting.
Their youth sport, no scorekeeping until 13, no travel teams, which I would, as somebody who's traveling 7 weekends in a row, no trophies unless everyone gets one. That's the definite, which I hate. I do not, but it somehow it's working. Now, some people would say, well, Norway, they're in the cold. This is very unique. But I think there is something where you see them have a lot of success in their sports. Something obviously is working pretty well when they dominate this much. Their population isn't even that great.
I would have to watch the kids at 13 or 14 and see if a kid that just got dog walked 15-0 are still enjoying themselves out there. Well, I mean, I guess it's not 15-0, but I mean, if you're getting beaten up, right?
Right.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's an interesting one to me because it kind of goes against everything that we
exactly. But I think about our youth, and I guess somebody who coaches, or not coaches, but parents, youth, and see how many messed up parents there are, and how much money is wasted, and how much wasted travel, unnecessary travel.
Yeah.
Seeing kids that are stressed out because their parents are yelling at them in the stands. I do think we need to overhaul to youth sports, and we need to reevaluate the way we're raising our kids and how much priority is put on getting a D1 scholarship.
Yeah.
When if you saved all the money that you spent on travel, you could pay for college.
Yeah.
But every parent wants their kid to be the next one or the next big thing. It's a personal pet peeve of mine that I want to do a little deeper dive on what Norway has done.
Love it. And I can't wait to hear it. And I agree totally that there's got to be a happy medium. Like I've seen athletes that I know personally that should have had shots at a higher level. And they basically by the end were like, nope. Don't even have any interest in it. I'm ready to take these pads off. My dad's been riding me since I'm 5. So that, there's definitely something to that, a happy medium somewhere. But that, again, comes from having a sane mother and father, right?
All right. I think we have our guy ready. We got Travis ready to go because we got to talk a little boxing. Our boxing expert, always fantastic, always fun and entertaining. Travis Hartman joining us now to help us break down the Ryan Garcia-Mario Barrios fight coming up. Travis, how we been, man? Everything good?
What's up, guys? How are you?
Oh, you sound good. You sound great. I'm wondering what you're sipping on because I know you usually have maybe a little something to loosen things up a little bit.
Well, listen, today I'm in the gym training people, so I'm not sipping on anything as of right now.
I love it. All right, good. I appreciate you taking the time out with us. I knew you had to rework some things, so really appreciate that. But we always love hearing your insight. All right, Ryan Garcia back in the ring. I don't know how to start this. I guess I almost feel like, do you trust him in where he is personally? And I've told the story about how my first time meeting him, it was with a dinner with PBD, and it was one of the more bizarre dinners I've ever had. His history is kind of checkered past where, he had the wild accusations where he was saying he was, being held hostage in his history and all this stuff. And then after the fight, he came out and said it was all a ruse. Where are you with Ryan Garcia as far as do you trust him as a fighter, as a boxer, as somebody who's going to come in this fight prepped and ready to go?
Well, I mean, that's a very good question. Yeah, very loaded. Do I trust him? I don't know if Ryan Garcia trusts himself, to be fair. Do I think he's going to be ready physically? Yes, I do. Only thing I worry about with Ryan Garcia is, will he be ready mentally? And that's kind of been his cachet for most of his career now. He really laid an egg in his last fight. He lost to Rolly Romero, which they were setting him up for a world title because Rolly Romero was a world champion. What people don't realize is Ryan Garcia has never been a world champion. Yeah. He's never had a world title. So the kid's very sought after and everybody thinks he's the greatest ever, but he's never had a world title. So this fight coming up with Mario Barrios is for a world title. So it could be his first world title win possibly. And do I trust him? Not really, but I hadn't made my prediction yet coming into the show, but I'm going to have to make one now. And I'm going to, if that's okay with you guys.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Ryan Garcia, and I might regret this later, but I've been undefeated right now on this podcast. So I'm hoping that it sticks to that. So I'm going to go with Ryan Garcia, but there's a big asterisk by it, right? Are we going to see Ryan Garcia? So he laid an egg in his last fight. So I'm going to play the odds and think that he's not going to lay 2 eggs. I think he's going to show up prepared. And honestly, I think they're trying to set up a possible Manny Pacquiao fight versus Ryan Garcia. And in order to fight Pacquiao, he's going to need a world title. So I think that the stage is set for Ryan Garcia to win. Now, will he? The door is open. We need him to walk through it.
So let's flip the script on this, Trav. You talked about it. Now, his physical gifts. I mean, we've known about Ryan Garcia I've known about him for 10 years. Fastest hands I think I've ever seen, man. He's always teeing off on people on social media. But he hasn't really put it all together. Is this at 27, it kind of sounds crazy, but is this his last shot? Let's say it doesn't happen for him this time and he takes an L. That's 2. 1, what do we think? Is this it for Ryan Garcia if he doesn't? As a champion, maybe in our minds?
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to go by the old boxing guard, if he's got 2 losses, he's done. But I think boxing's changing in that regard. And I think that Dana White's probably helping change that as well as the Turkish Al-Sheikh, the Saudi Arabia guy.
Yeah.
I think 1 loss is no longer the end of the road for boxers. So Ryan Garcia's popularity is, no, this isn't his last shot. He is only 27, I think. So this isn't his last shot. But for the upper echelon of boxers and us boxing experts, I do think that's his like, hey, this is his chance to show us as the experts, the boxing experts, that Ryan Garcia belongs in that upper echelon conversation. He does need to win it for them. But for the general public, he's still got a couple more left in him because of his popularity via social media. But I think that in the boxing world, in the world championship caliber fights, yeah, this might be his last, because also Mario Barrios is not really considered, a high level world champion. I mean, he got a draw in his last fight against Manny Pacquiao, who's 47 years old.
And that's where I was going with that, actually. So what I want you to do for me is I want you to do your best Jordan Belfort, right? We've talked about Sell Me This Pen. Sell Me This Pen from Wolf of Wall Street. So like you said, Ryan's coming off a loss versus Rolly, and Barrios is coming off a loss versus a draw to 46-year-old Pacquiao off a 3-year hiatus. So what I need you to do is make me care, right? Talk to me. Sell me this fight, right? Tell me why I should care about this fight.
Well, emotions sell. And somebody a long time ago told me this. They said that some of the biggest sellers in sports are people that bring out emotions in the general population and the general public. Whether those emotions are good or bad, it's, can this person bring emotion out of people? And Ryan Garcia is probably the king of that right now. We call him King Ryan, and he's had some major meltdowns that we've saw, via Devin Haney, that fight where he said it was a ruse, but I don't think it really was. Some of that looked pretty authentic. Yeah. And I think you guys probably saw that too. And then now he's kind of on another bit of a ruse. He's kind of going all crazy with the Epstein stuff and with Trump's, he's backing of Trump and now he's no longer backing Trump. So to sell it to you guys is Ryan Garcia's already sold it. I think that we're all paying attention because we want to see which Garcia is going to show up. We want to see, it's almost like a train wreck. You know that a lot of bad stuff has happened in that train wreck, but you can't take your eyes off of it. You're not supposed to look at it so hard. You're like, oh my gosh, and people died in that, but you can't take your eyes off of that. That's Ryan Garcia right now. And he is pretty talented. So he's got that going for him, but he's also got this loose cannon wild card, which right now gets the clicks, right? Like, guess we got podcasts, he gets the clicks, he gets the views. And honestly, he is an exciting fighter. There really hasn't been a fight other than, I guess his last fight was kind of ho-hum boring. It was weird. He got dropped. That's what made it kind of exciting. But Ryan Garcia's fights are usually exciting. I mean, that Devin Haney Ryan Garcia fight was pretty insanely entertaining to watch because obviously it was a little bit of an upset. Devin Haney went down multiple times and it was still kind of a close fight. But I think the sell of this fight, Chris, is he brings emotion out of people, good or bad, but he brings emotions out of people. And you just don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if Ryan Garcia is going to get in the ring and an alien's going to land in there and fight with him, or he's going to, I don't know, maybe Trump's going to walk Ryan Garcia to the ring and it's a big ruse that he's tweeting about. He no longer supports Donald Trump. So I don't know. And that's the key, right? We want to see what we don't know. And I think one thing we know about Ryan Garcia is we don't know, because I don't think he knows.
That emotion, his social media following, the wild card, it brings a ton of eyeballs. So a lot of casuals like myself will tune in to watch this fight. So that's the main event. What about the undercard? Any other fights on here that are jumping out to you that you find intriguing, or is this really about the Barrios Garcia fight?
I mean, it is about the Barrios Garcia fight. I mean, that's obviously everybody's tuning into that. I don't think anybody even really cares who's on the undercard, but I do believe there's 2 other world title fights. I think Gary Russell's fighting on one of the other fights. But again, honest to God, we know that everybody's tuning in to watch Ryan Garcia Barrios. And honestly, I bet if you see the viewership, it is going to be probably almost nothing. And then it's going to shoot through the roof, all within that main event starting, because nobody's going to want to watch the rest. And that's kind of where boxing has lagged a little bit. And I kind of brought up a little bit about Dana White and Zuffa boxing, that he's kind of trying to change the game. And I think he might, because his last show on Sunday on Paramount Plus was such a hit. And the main event wasn't even the biggest hit. It was the fights leading up to the main event. So Ryan Garcia is fighting kind of on the old guard, the Oscar De La Hoya Golden Boy Promotions card. And they're still kind of doing it that way where they're selling the main event and not really much else. And I'm not a fan of that. I'm not, but we all know that everybody's tuning in for Ryan Garcia. And honestly, I mean, me too. Like, I'm going to tune in for Ryan Garcia. And so is the average fan. So, you know, it is what it is, but that's what's happening. And honestly, I genuinely do believe it will deliver, though.
Okay. Can I change gears real quick? Now, you talk about the importance of being able to invoke emotion in a fighter, and that's going to be what sells the fight. And we know this for a million years with Mayweather. You either wanted to see him get knocked out or you loved him, right? Yep. He's been in the news a little lately too. Any legs to Mayweather Tyson?
Yes, there is.
There is.
Yeah, but the only way it can possibly happen because of rules of boxing is there's weight classes for a reason, right? So it would have to be an exhibition, which immediately for me, I'm out. It means there won't be a winner or a loser. So for me, I'm out. It's a sideshow. Fine. Exhibitions have been going on for decades. I mean, Muhammad Ali did it. He fought a wrestler, was an exhibition. And now we see Jake Paul does it, or he has done it. And then obviously Mayweather did it too. Mayweather already did an exhibition, remember, with Logan Paul. Mm-hmm. So
is it good or bad for boxing?
I mean, honestly, I don't think it really matters, to be fair. I don't think it hurts it. I don't think it helps it. I don't think it does anything. I think it's just one of those things that everybody tuning in kind of knows what it is. It's a little bit of a sideshow, and pro fighters past their prime have been doing that for a while, and they have. And matter of fact, Manny Pacquiao, who we just mentioned, he's supposed to be fighting in an exhibition now too, against another guy. So I'm not a fan of them when it comes to like the real scene, but I mean, it'll sell. Think about it. It's Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather. Two very big names, but it is an exhibition. So that's the only reason I'm telling you that there is teeth to it. And I think it will happen because I don't know what's going on with Mayweather and his whole financial issues. I don't know if he's broke, but he is doing a lot of different things. I just seen he did a commercial for alcohol, and Mayweather doesn't drink alcohol, but he did a commercial for alcohol beverage. So it tells me he's kind of prostituting himself out a little bit. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'll never fault anybody for wanting to get more money, I guess. I have no blame. No fault there. All right. You're the best, man. Really appreciate the time. So Ryan Garcia, you're saying he's going to win. We'll hold you to that. See if you keep going undefeated here on the pod.
That one I'm not like, I'm not full on.
Like don't load up on a bet is what you're telling us. Like bet at your own risk if you want to back it.
There you go. 100%. I think that the smart play, I think Ryan Garcia does win, but Mario Barrios is completely capable of winning that fight, right? He is. He's a world champion for a reason, even though he's maybe not one of the strongest world champions. He is a world champion still. So we'll see. I mean, I think it's interesting anyway. Ryan Garcia is a wild card, so who knows what's going to happen, guys. Love it. Awesome stuff. Travis, you're the best. Make sure you go follow him at Real Travis Hartman. The podcast, Weighing In with Travis Hartman. You're awesome, man. Always good insight. Thanks so much, man. You're the man. Appreciate you, thanks, bud. All right, we'll see you. Travis Hartman, really love his contributions to our show here at VT Sports. Phenomenal insight, and we'll see if he gives us a winner. Yes. There. All right, as we close out the show, this has been our new little hobby that we've gotten into here. I got my Meta glasses. Put them on. I just picked these up. Put them babies on. I don't know if I'm going to keep them yet or not, but I do want to get a firsthand account, like the view here when we're breaking some of these cards open. Love it. So I went to the store on the way here. I have spent a fortune on some of these boxes. I'm just going to tell you that. I've spent a fortune on some of these. So I got a little football, some of the optics. That's the one you want, though. We were talking about that last break. Like last show. Yeah. That's the box, man. There's a couple of heaters in there. You pull one of them babies, you're good. And then this one has a boatload of cards, 400 cards in this Series 1 2026 Topps 75. This one's the one you told me about. The guy at the store definitely was selling me on this one with the Mickey Mantle 52 rookie card, the redemption card for that one. Perfect. All right, so you want to open one too? Let's go through the optics first. Let's bang these out of the way and make sure I'm recording because I don't want to miss this break if I get something really good. I'm rooting hard for you at this point. No one's rooting harder than me for myself. Yes, I am way underwater as far as how much money I am out. All right, so I got a little Jim Kelly there. Great.
Ooh, Jackson Dart, rated rookie.
Nice. That's a good one.
No number. So that's what I'm learning too.
If
this is great. And it's like got a little blue tint. I don't know which one it is, but it is definitely Tez Johnson, I've got like 5.
He's an exciting player. I like
He is, but his card's worth crap.
Yeah.
Carson Schlesinger, great. David Montgomery, great. I can already tell these are all crap. Braylon Allen, great. No numbered, no nothing. Mike Williams and Jim Kelly. As much as I love Jim Kelly running the K-Gun, I got skunked again.
All right, we're all right.
What do
we're
you
all right.
got?
You got a whole box there, my man.
That's right.
You're going to pull a great one off camera, which
exactly.
is gonna be terrible, but let's
Definitely.
do it.
All right, what you got?
All right, so first thing I'm looking for colors.
Yeah, you cheat. I go one by one. You got some colors? I need
I got a checklist in here.
Oh, what's that?
Oh, no, that's points. I'm explaining to you that. This is kind of cool, actually. All right, so we got a Devin Neal, which nobody really... James Pierce had an interesting couple weeks, huh? You might want to put this one to the side. This might be a throwback soon.
Yeah.
All right.
What are the 250 points?
So Panini is cool. So Panini, you have redemption points. So you set up an account, you redeem those, and you're going to put those towards your account in there, and you could save up enough points. You can kind of redeem boxes with that. You get them randomly. I think I got like 1,000 too. You could have mine. And we'll I want you to hit it. Yeah. I got me a rated rookie on DJ Giddens. Got former MVP Rich Gannon. Hall of Famer Devin Hester.
Yeah.
And future Hall of Famer Jamar Chase. Unfortunately, base cards.
Crap, and more crap. Now, a couple of them I did get some numbered on the backs of these, but they were like 200 of 500. I didn't get any 1 of 10 or something like that. All right.
These ones there, you're looking for uptowns and downtowns, and you find one and it pays for the box.
Yeah, exactly. But I haven't found one, and I've got about 5 boxes deep. All right, so here's my Series 1. 40 cards in here. Now, you're telling me I'm looking for like, there's going to be some in here that are worth more than others?
It'll probably start with a bunch of base if you flip them over, and then you'll see somewhere in there like the colors change or the or like they might be facing the opposite direction. That's where the fun ones start usually. But peek through them all. They sometimes drop little specials in there.
I see nothing. I'm looking for Fernando Tatis. That's a good one.
Fernando Tatis Jr.
Yeah.
You see the guy who hit the 3 grand slams this week?
Yes, for Baylor. Never. That might be one of the most impressive things. Jack Leiter.
Do you know why I'm thinking about that? Because I remember when Fernando Tatis' dad hit 2 grand slams in the same inning in the majors.
That's pretty insane.
Crazy,
I still think 3 in a game is insane because you don't have that many opportunities.
Yeah, wild.
All right, I'm not.
You're all right. Keep going. You might not hit that right point.
Oh, I get a right point. I'm still waiting for it to come. I see nothing backwards. Do they have rookie? Oh,
all right. See, now we're backwards. So now these are the ones you're looking for. There you go.
Ooh,
got a little hollow right there.
Josh Lowe.
Okay.
Not bad. Manny Machado. Ooh, what's this? Admit one.
I don't know.
Is this a little ticket? Vlad.
Okay.
Vlad Guerrero, little ticket sale one. I've never seen this one.
All right, insert, but we don't have the stamp on there, right?
No, we have no stamp. All right, this is garbage. I'm just telling you, this is my prediction. I got the worst luck.
No, you're all right.
Shohei.
Okay.
There you go.
His base cards even go for a little bit sometimes.
Do they?
Yeah.
All right. I'm skunked. You got the more exclusive.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely not going to open that, bro.
Do it.
Outlook, I'm going to pull the redemption, and I'm going to want you to have gotten it. So, now do that one.
You think it would come in the smaller pack?
No, I don't.
Ooh, we got a signature.
But these are fun.
Exclusive drops. Oh, this is like just an ad. It's great. I need more ads. Ooh, here we go. This one's colorful.
Is that Josh Naylor?
No. I'll let you say it. These are kind of cool, though. I like these Colson Montgomery. Ooh, this one, Jeter. That one's pretty sweet.
See, that's my PC. I have 64 Jeters at home.
Do you want 65?
If you're giving them away.
Chipper Jones. Is this worth anything? I know it's cool and it's got like
probably.
a little hologram.
I mean, I don't know. Let's look it up before I take it. But, man, that is.
And then
Chipper
Chipper Jones, one of the GOATs out there. He got mad at me.
Hall of Famer.
I was a little upset with Chipper Jones. He did not like some of my college football takes and called me out. Yeah. It was one of the lower points of my career. Because I looked up to Chipper, and then I had to call him out. I made a Braves list of top 10 players and didn't include him, just trying to screw him.
Oh, that's tough. Yeah,
just kind of get him back for that one.
Yeah.
But anyways, thanks, Chipper, for the card. Skunked again. Although those are pretty cool. We'll look
you're skunked on camera, though. Like you got to film yourself at home with that, and we'll pop it up on the site.
Right.
We'll pop it up on the channel.
All right.
It's
a good way to end the show.
Can I ask you one thing?
Yeah.
I got super excited about one thing, and we'll let you go. Malik, do we have the golf clip? Anything to this?
Let me see this.
Dude.
Ooh.
Did you see it? Did you see it?
I did. Now let me see if affirmative, like, does he doesn't say anything, does he?
You got to watch the whole thing.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Right, final thing with you in regards to your recovery. Is the Masters off the table for you?
No.
Keep watching.
All right, time for just a few more.
Little sly smile. All right, so I saw Tiger in person 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
I went to TGL, the indoor golf league, and he was coaching. He wasn't playing, but he was coaching the Jupiter team. Watching him walk around, I was a little concerned. I don't know if he plays ever again. I would say the rumblings at TGL where he's not going to compete again. But how many people thought he was going to win back in 2019 or 2018, whenever he won the Masters then? Like, that was after the car wreck. That was after everything else. I would never count my man out. But I do think it's highly unlikely.
I saw this clip yesterday, and I said something I've never said about an athlete before. I said, if it gets me 1 or 2 more vintage Tiger moments, that guy can take anything he wants to get healthy, and I don't care.
The problem with
just get him healthy.
The problem with Augusta, I don't know if you've ever been there, it's incredibly hilly. You can't really appreciate it. There are like huge hills.
Yep.
And I just don't know if the endurance is
walking
there.
The course.
You know, and he's walking. He kind of walks with a limp now.
Yeah.
But the dude is one of the greatest of all time. I'm still a Jack guy.
I think his mental will.
Kicks in.
See it so bad.
I do too. I'll be rooting for it because I think it'd be great for the sport of golf.
I agree.
We'll see if it happens.
A Sunday when you it's. Like,
I'd love to be on here on VT Sports breaking down a little, going into the weekend. What do we think of Tiger?
Do you know what's funny? Like, I don't even watch it really consistently, but in 19 when he won, I had like and it's happened a couple of times. I have like this spidey sense. Like early on a Sunday, I'm like, I think I'm just going to tune in today. And Tiger Woods goes ballistic, and it happened for the last time in 19.
I was there.
Were you?
Yeah, on the Saturday round, which was pretty cool. I was bummed because I wasn't there Saturday when they're all chanting his name, and it was like one of the best scenes ever.
Yeah.
But it was still pretty special to see a part of it.
Yeah, definitely.
But that was awesome. All right, that's a wrap for us. Make sure you go check out the channel, subscribe, leave us comments, let you know what you think of the show. You want to ask any questions, we'll answer those on the next show. We'll do that. Make sure you give us a follow on socials at Danny Cannell.
At Chris Mano, at Mano Steele, actually on Instagram. And Danny's right, guys. We cracked 5,000 subs recently. We appreciate you guys for that. Let's make it 10,000 soon, faster than the first 5. All right, let's do it. Appreciate it.
Definitely. We'll see you guys. Have a good week.
You.